Hi, good evening. I'm John Hawkins Jr. with Gateway Counseling Center. This is our Tuesday night Facebook Live. We do this every Tuesday night at 7:15, sometimes 8:15. Stay on your toes. We'll send you out an email prior to let you know what's going on with us, depending on what we got happening here. We're a counseling center here in Boynton Beach, Florida. We do individual, couple, family therapy for relational issues, mental health, emotional, spiritual, you name it, we do it. We're on a mission to help as many people as possible, and so we use any means possible at our disposal. So that's one of the reasons we do this on Tuesday nights, is we do this Facebook Live where you can ask me questions throughout the week. Email me at johnh@gatewaycounseling.com, and giving you some information, let you ask me any questions, so we can be a service up to you, and then how you guys can help us on our mission of helping other people by anything you find on these lives we do on Tuesday that you find beneficial, that valuable, whether it's information, tips, coping strategies, tools, whatever it may be that people could benefit from. You can forward that on to them, and be a part of helping us help others. I am a certified addiction professional in the state of Florida, licensed psychotherapist. I specialize in working with trauma, again, all types of addictions, relationships, and my favorite work as a peak performance coach. So kind of torn about talking to you about a couple different things tonight. So I think the one that would win out, I think I'm going to talk to you about how your past actually hijacks your present. And so there's a lot of approaches in therapy, a lot of ways we work with people, but one of the most important things is helping people understand how we have these two systems. We have an explicit system, which is your conscious thought, and then we have this implicit system, which is more of kind of what's going on emotionally or as a felt sense in the body, and other parts of the brain that hold like unlimited creativity, all these kind of great things that we don't really access a lot of. But the way that this kind of hijacks us, this implicit system, is we have a type of memory that's called implicit memory, that's like this felt sense memory in the body. So it's the feeling that goes with the event or the incident, not the images or thoughts that that are connected with that. So this shows up in relationships more than anything. So I was working with numerous couples today, and what happens is we have histories around certain words, meanings, tones, behaviors, all kind of stuff that aren't the same meanings for our partner. So we might say something, or our partner might say something that creates this certain emotional reaction. So I was working with someone today, and there's a reaction that one client would get that the other client would ask them something or do something, and it created a reaction that we identified was all these memories around their mother, where then it creates this feeling where they get very defensive and self-protective from all this stuff that they had to go through in their relational pattern with their mother. So then what happens is, originally you experience emotions, different things like that don't get regulated or felt through all the way, or responded to or repaired, and so they get blocked or frozen. We disassociate in these certain ways, and now they form what's called these chains of associated memories. So one of the people will trigger those memories, but I don't know I'm having a memory. I say this on like probably 80% of the videos, and it still takes a while for it to register for people. So I'm always trying to find ways to explain it, articulate it. If you have things that resonate with you or ideas about that, send them again to johnh@gatewaycounselingcenter.com, just to help people really get it. And so you're convinced that it's just my partner creating this reaction, because they're creating this strong feeling within me, and I don't have a memory consciously about this. And so one of the things is really starting to have the humility to realize that all of our realities are so unbelievably subjective. Like, you would be shocked if you sat in here with me all week and understood the truth of what I'm saying. We're so sure our partner's intent is this, or they said this or didn't say this. And I can tell you, sitting here with people, it's like something's just said, the other person didn't even hear it, or something was said and that wasn't what they said. And it's our brains are distorting reality like crazy. And this is just like at the core of what makes relationships so hard and complicated, with the divorce rates 50-some% and probably rising, seconds 60-something, thirds 70-something%. You know, like this is the crux of why it's so hard, because we're getting this stuff activated all the time. We don't know it. I mean, if I didn't do what I would do, I would have no idea of how to help people, how to show them this. We're so sure to just what's happening right now, or our assumptions about our partner, all this kind of stuff, and we just don't have the skills to communicate or navigate it in any way. And so we're just left dealing with it as best we can, but then it doesn't help us align and come back together after we get disconnected. So we just keep doing the best we can, and then meanwhile over time our connection just eroding until we wake up one day and say, how did we get here? How did this happen, where we have so much bitterness and resentment towards each other, or just apathy and indifference, which is even worse. And, you know, we had all this love for each other. You know, what happened along the way? And so sometimes it's just a lot of these micro cuts, or like death by 1,000 cuts, of how we ended up here. And it's just a tragedy and sad that there's no intent. It's not what either one of us wanted. It's not because we're both horrible people. It's just we're not equipped to deal with what is actually happening. So I want to educate you and everyone else on how to start to deal with these things, first to recognize them. So the first thing you want to do is really look within yourself. Stop blaming everything on your partner and being so sure your reality is the right reality. It's just different. It's not better or worse. It's just different. And so when I'm working in sessions with people, it's this real moment-to-moment tracking of what is happening. So people want to talk about all the stories and the facts and the details about the events during their week, and then they start triggering each other and getting defensive and getting pulled in their cycles. And I want to know right now, in this moment, sitting in my office, as she or he said this, like, how did you respond to that? What do you hear? What happens in your body? That's the only place, is in the present, to change this stuff, and through a felt sense experience, how we really start to shift this stuff. So realize, you know, really look within yourself. See how am I reacting emotionally? What am I feeling in my body when my partner is saying these things? And if I'm having a big reaction, does it seem excessive to the situation or not? If you stay with your body sensation and really focus on it, could be tightness in the chest, or I just feel heaviness here, and you really sit with that feeling and let your mind go a little bit and just see what comes up, like maybe other memories or images or realizations. The body is what holds all of this implicit memory, and eventually it will start to reveal it into your conscious explicit memory, and you start to realize, wow, like, what happened? You know, like, I can start to remember now times that I had this interaction with my mom or my dad or peers in middle school or whatever it may be that my partner is triggering. So really focus on owning your own reality. Stop blaming it on my partner all the time. Look at myself and learn how to communicate and talk about myself, not my partner, constantly. Because if you're just telling your partner all the things they do wrong, what they don't do, you would get defensive, I would get defensive, you know. So really, it's easy to talk about each other. It's easy to point out all your flaws, you know, but it just feeds your conflict cycle, feeds getting you pulled back into this place. And just like I said, just this tragedy just erodes your connection month after month, year after year, until it's gone. So focus on you and talk about you in a way that your partner's receptive to, can understand, and get curious about them. Like, okay, it looked like what I just said didn't land so well, or what happened when I said that, or what you hear, what was the meaning of it, you know, and not judging them or yourself for your own reactions, but really just start to explore those together. So realize that reality is subjective. It's this implicit memory system that's getting activated all the time, that's creating these strong feelings that are hard to put into words. So if you can't do that, because it really is difficult for a lot of the times in the beginning, especially when you have a lot of stuff you haven't understood or dealt with, and you go find someone like me to really help you with that. But that's the core of it. And everybody says, oh, we have trouble communicating. I'm like, okay, yes, no crap, I understand that's what everybody comes and says, but here's why. It's not just finding the right words, but it's the tone, the energy, the intensity that you put with the words that's the biggest factor. So those are my tips for today. I hope you put them into practice. Again, reach me at johnhgatewaycounseling.com throughout the week. If you have any questions, things you want me to talk about on Tuesday nights, follow us here on Facebook at Gateway Counseling Center. Gateway Counseling Center on YouTube, Gateway Center on Instagram, and then we have the Mind Zone group on Facebook as well. So I will see you guys next Tuesday night, either 7:15 or 8:15. We'll let you know just prior. And have a great week. And again, send me anything you got during the week, and please forward this if you found any of the information helpful to anybody you feel who could benefit. All right, I'll see you next Tuesday.